So every now and again I will take requests from people commenting down the comment sections in various videos, and a few people have been asking for me to look at Newgrange. Again, I've looked at it once in the past. So I'm going to show you some images from recent times and what the thing looked like originally, and how the hell they ended up building it into what it is now. And people, well, most people think that this is how the thing was uncovered, and it certainly was not. And this is a good example of what I've been doing recently. I'd like to carry on doing it, is showing you sites how they were found, and what they've been constructed into, which is just somebody's idea of, when somebody says a mound builders, I think that they just piled up rocks and then covered them in dirt or something, and they're always tombs, aren't there? So we'll take a look at that. I'm going to leave two links on the screen, which will link to two older videos from about 6 months ago dealing with burial mounds. I was showing how they used to be the tops of buildings, mainly dome structures. One of them were dealing with what they call Japan keyhole mounds. And whilst dealing with that video on Newgrange, I was pointing out how, if you see what they call standing stones that surround this thing, the further back from the back is still buried. There will be standing stones still under the sloped area there. Well, I propose that the standing stones were actually pillars which have since solidified or petrified, whether they were wood or some type of concrete, which has since solidified or petrified. I don't quite know, because it's a site I have never been to in person, even though it's in Britain, where I'm from. But the pillars will have held a roof up of some time. In the past, I've actually got some black and white images here that show them they actually excavated this site more than what most people know, and you can see the beams, the shapes of the roof or the floor. This is from around Newgrange. I think it's Barrow Mounds. I've got some up-to-date images and some older images again for you to look at, to draw your own conclusions of why they end up looking this way. This is an example of how I think these things were put together. It is similar to the dolmen sites that I've shown you, how they were built. Most of the rocks on the floor are just mud rock, what you would smear or pour into this lattice work, and then you would build it up and put a wooden roof on. Okay, I say wooden, when I show you these at the end, it's the site was that large, and yet we see them excavating pieces like this. She is only cleaning out the grooves, the symbols, I suppose. She's only cleaning them out. Now if you look carefully at them, you can see how crude it has been chipped out, carved out with some tool. Now, so looking at that, the way that I'm going to show you how this thing was built and how large it was, maybe some people did come in later and deface this thing, carve their own little runes on it, because the peoples that chipped away at that could not have built this site, in my opinion. I've shown you this one in a video in the past. It's a top view of the site as they were excavating it. I've never shown you this one though. This is obviously an image as they almost got down to the ground level, but we can see the imprints of the beaming. You see the beaming that's running into the centre like a clock face. That's what held a massive roof up. The tool links will link at the end, will explain that further. But these are some of the finds that were found in and around Newgrange, the whole area. It's not something that I get into. How real or fake they are, what time periods they are, we can never know. I just thought I would place them on the screen for you. Now, if you was to show anybody that's worked with wood in the past this drawing here, they would come to the conclusion that it is pieces of wood, almost the size of railway sleepers, that have been put together. The reason why they have turned into the same material as what's covering these cliff faces is, in my opinion, due to volcanic ash. It's mineralizations from the amount of minerals that you get within volcanic ash, and then flooding. Now then, Rudy, I did see your video on what you call laterite soil. It's very interesting. It's something that I will look closer into. It does seem that a lot of these sites, like I was saying in the Ethiopian video, that they were built with a wooden frame and then covered in soil. They're basically giant mud huts. It is true that this particular soil, it's only in specific areas, right, does get as hard as steel. I think it would have to be refined, Rudy. You know, you would have to mix it and refine it, take all the impurities out to make it like that. It's just a range of building methods and techniques, and I will never take my eye off petrification and solidification, calcification, mineralization, metamorphism. It's just something that seems to have explained almost everything since I've been doing this, really. Well, if you like that, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to help the channel moving forward, you can press on the link in a pinned comment, which will be in every video from now on. Thank you.